Welcome back to Living Through the Shift podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany J. Harris, and I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the podcast where we say you're not crazy. You're just going through a lot of shift. This episode is really special to me, and every episode is generally special, but this one is really special because I brought my sister and my brother-in-law on here to discuss caregiving. Both of us are caring for our parents. I am taking care of my mom, and my sister's taking care of my dad. And they have navigated marriage and caregiving and, trying to make a marriage work. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't see. So I really think you all will enjoy this episode. We just want to give a special thanks, and I hope that this helps a lot of people. So let me preface this. This is not to disparage our parents or anything like that. It's just really to show a true glimpse of what caring for two people are like. And they'll talk about my dad's disabilities. And as you know, my mom has dementia. So I'm really excited. Welcome to the podcast, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So this is Dr. Courtney Harris.
Oh my God.
She's a psychologist. I brought them on because they both have healthcare experience also, which is great because Brad is a paramedic. So can you all talk about that? Introduce yourselves.
I am Courtney Harris Donaldson. I've moved from Chicago to Mississippi in 2009, and I started working with the Bureau in 2016 at FCC Yazoo City, and then I've transferred to FCI Memphis in 2019, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, and Brad?
My name is Brad. I am originally from Laurel, Mississippi.
Hello, Laurel.
Moved to Jackson, Mississippi when I turned 18, went to college, did a couple of jobs while I was there. Then me and Courtney got married, stayed in Richland for a little while,
Yeah.
and then we moved to Memphis, and I was driving trucks for a little while, and then I started volunteering at a fire department, kind of fell in love with the medical field, and so I went and got my EMT, and now I'm in paramedic school. I'll be done in 2 months with paramedic school.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you all have a lot of experience. So tell me a little bit about your love story right before caregiving started. Just give me a little glimpse.
So I think this was like my third year in grad school. I started working at JCPenney, or as we call it, the Jacques Penney, like Target. And so I worked in the home department. Brad was in .com at that time. I had been there about a year, and I was sort of sick of just dating and stuff. And so one of the girls in my program, she had told me about this sermon. It was called The New Rules for Sex, Love, and Dating. And it said that if you abstain for a year, then the person who you were supposed to marry would present themselves. And so Brad popped up about 10 months into that. He told me that he liked me as I was quitting. And I was like, no, we can't date. But I was like, but we can hang out. And I guess I was trying to make sure that I hit the 12 months. And then I was like, oh shit, it's Brad, it has to be Brad. And so Brad says that I turned you down, but we hung out every night. Who hangs out every night? Who exchanges keys with each other? Who says that they love you, but they ain't dating? That was us. And after 5 years, we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Brad? Tell me your love story.
Oh, pretty much the same. She swears she didn't kick me to the curb, but she did. Yeah. But she always says that we were in church one Sunday, and it was just we were sitting by each other in church, and so I just kind of put my arm around and not thinking nothing of it, just did it. And she said that when I did that, she felt something okay, she knew okay, this is the relationship.
I experienced butterflies. I couldn't even focus on the sermon. I was like, why is he putting his arm around me? Oh my God, what is he doing? Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's when I basically knew I really was feeling him. Yeah.
And I was just trying to stretch.
Whatever. It was romantic. It's okay.
So we've been together this year. It will be married 9 years. Wow. And together 14? Jeez. No, 9 plus 5. Yeah, 14.
Yeah, okay. That's a very long time. So, of course, you all are dating, and both of our parents they're a little wacky. So, Courtney, I'm sure you told Brad about our parents. Can you give me a little bit of that? what you told them about her parents?
I think I told him I was pretty cool with Dad. And I mean, I think around that time, like me and Dad, whenever we talked on the phone, I mean, we would have conversations here and there. We were cool. We were like, I was talking about how like we would dance and stuff together. But I think Brad knew like I definitely had a better relationship with Dad, or AKA Big Mike. And then when it came to Jackie, our mom, I think I had a break. I recall, like, I could see it so vividly. Like, I was in we were at your apartment because he hated being at my apartment because I did not have cable. And so that was a big thing for him. So he would come over to my place one night, and then the next day we would immediately have to retreat to his place. I remember, like, we were up late one night. I recall doing work, and this was about to be like the first trip to come to Chicago.
Okay.
And it was sort of like I had all these skeletons, and I just remember breaking down and telling him, like, this is how she is. And like, I was freaking out because I knew, like, we knew like how Jackie was. Like, if she would get upset, then, we would be like on pins and needles, or, walking on eggshells trying to figure out how we were going to act. And so I just sort of like let him know, like, our whole history that night, and I just like let the skeletons out the bag.
That day when she told me, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like it was like a spiel pretty much of everything, like just to be prepared for this and this and this and this. And so when we got up there, it was like I kind of saw some of it, but also I didn't see like some of the like negative stuff she was saying, because I think she was trying to maybe put up a facade so she wouldn't look so bad. And I think I finally seen it one day when me and Courtney were in a car one day headed back to our apartment. This was after we came up there for the first time. I kind of actually saw what she was talking about when she kind of cussed her out and called her some negative names and stuff like that. So,
yeah. What were we going to say?
I do recall that day, because he like grabbed the phone and he was like, "You're not going to listen to that anymore." And you put your foot down too. What is it? When we went to Chicago, you recall when we went to the aquarium. So it was something no, it wasn't the aquarium. It was a planetarium. And it was some type of like like it was an evening event or something like that. And she thought that it was like free to the public. But when we got there, we realized like it wasn't. And so, she like, how she, she started like flipping out, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to pay for this. Like, we have to do that. And Brad was like, you could pay for this today, but he was like, you aren't going to do this anymore. And I was like, okay, like I like that, because I mean that's just how we how we always had to roll. But we've had conversations about this throughout the years. But he said that there are only a couple of people that truly know how Jackie is, because she was so great at putting on a facade.
Right.
But yeah,
and it's like now she's nice. So I know that is very hard for the both of us.
Yeah, a dagger.
It's weird because we were about to find out a diagnosis. I know clinically you were excited about that because we kind of felt like she is on the spectrum of like bipolar or something of that nature, and some type of personality disorder. And we didn't get that, and then we kind of felt like
it wasn't any vindication.
No, so.
Dad's side of the family has been saying that for years.
Yeah.
So, whatever, at the end of the day, it's sort of like over with. But we had somebody go ahead and another psychologist co-sign it, but then that psychologist ended up going out from Vanderbilt and somebody else took over her case. So it is what it is, but
Yeah. And then I know that we kind of had this. I know I was younger. Me and my sister were a little over 6 years apart. And I remember vividly being at Grand's funeral. And I remember you saying, telling mom like to get it together. But also we kind of just had this weird quick agreement of like, you're going to get mom and I'm going to get dad. And I kind of felt like, okay, sure. But I'll probably be, married and have kids and all that stuff. And that was not the case. And then I think for you all, Grand passed in December 2017, and then when did you all take dad?
2018.
Okay.
June 2018, July, because we ended
We're on
up,
a trip.
right, we went on the trip.
Okay, so Dad, I always say he broke like the left side and the right side of his body on
He
two
did.
separate occasions
He
because they
did,
all
a
came
year
to
apart.
match. Yeah, and we were on a trip, and it was like we were having fun, we were having drinks, you know, like I'm a third wheel snoring, but whatever, it's fine. And then you all get this call. What's this call about?
Something had been going on with Dad. Okay, wait, let's back up. So he broke one side 1 year. He broke the other side the next year. And then I think he got out the hospital and he went to his friend's house, quote unquote. What did they used to call it? The drug
The
house?
cigarette
store. Yeah, the cigarette store, aka the drug house.
Jesus.
Okay. So he went there and they had to carry him up the stairs. And so Jackie was supposed to go pick him up to take him to the bank. And somehow it happened. He fell into a wall and he broke his shoulder.
Okay.
That's what he ended up breaking his shoulder, something like that. So he ended up going to the hospital. The hospital never did any surgery, so it was just fused together. And then I think they went ahead and sent him to some type of like
rehab
or something like that. It was like he went there and they were basically saying like he was about to get released. So we drove from Canton to Myrtle Beach, got the call. We said, okay, we'll go ahead. We still have time for the car. We'll go ahead and come back home and sleep, switch our clothes, drive up to Chicago, go pick him up and bring him right back, right?
Okay.
And so that was what the plan was. And then when we got there, they had packed, like we didn't even have a chance to meet with like the nursing staff, but basically they bagged up all his stuff and it was just like a good luck, God bless, like here's his stuff, like take the medication, take the whatever, take everything that he has taken and go. And I think that like then seeing him, it was like, oh, okay, it's because like you have a really aggressive attitude, you're very irritable, like I get it. And he also had very crappy insurance too, and probably he was in pain, so he really didn't want to he really didn't want to do the physical therapy. I can understand it. So it was a myriad of things. It definitely shined light like, oh, okay, this is way worse. And so when I was talking to him, he was saying like, oh, I can't go to the bathroom. And I didn't think like, I'm just thinking like, oh, like his leg is messed up or something, whatever. I didn't know, but he couldn't get up and go to the bathroom. When we got him to Jackie's house, got him in the car, because she called the police. No, she called the fire department to help bring him up the stairs. When we were giving him a shower, he had like a 4th-degree wound on his butt. And, I had to we were all trying to clean it. And I think we were all just walking through the house trying to figure out what were we going to do essentially.
Because I remember even at the facility when we picked him up, he couldn't even get out the wheelchair to get in the car. I think I pretty much kind of had to bear hug him and turn him and put him in the car because his legs were so weak. And then I remember when we were giving him a shower, you had to stand in the shower with him.
Did I?
Yes, because he couldn't hold himself up in the shower. And I remember it was downstairs doing the bathroom. Yeah. They just had to shower. He couldn't even lift his leg over that little lip at the bottom just to get into the shower.
And it really wasn't that
like an inch or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was pretty much I remember her calling. They was like, yeah, he's good to go. And she was asking is he walking better and everything. And I remember them saying yeah, he's good. He can walk and do everything. And then we get there and
it's a lot.
He's already in a wheelchair. And so by the time we realize, oh, he can't do nothing, we picking him up, trying to put him in the car. And so, yeah, and then it's pretty much went downhill from there. Every time we had to try to get him in the house or out of the house, we had to call the fire department to lift him up and down the steps. And then we got ready to bring him down a lot. We had to run some errands around Chicago. Well, bring him back to Canton. We had to run some errands around Chicago. The one I remember that just kind of pissed me off was Courtney had took him to the bank to get either get his money taken out of the account or get it where she can transfer it to a different account or something. And so,
because we were still determined to go ahead and get him down to Mississippi. It was just like, as long as we get him in the car, cool, everything will be fine. But
yeah, and so they went to the bank together, and so I sat out in the car, and so he needed like a shower stool or something, and it was a Walgreens right across the street. So she texted me, said she was gonna go to Walgreens and get that if I would stand in the bank with him. So I got out, went to the bank, and so we're standing in the bank. The teller's doing, getting everything, and so your dad was sitting in a wheelchair, and I was standing right behind him, and so he took his wallet out and went into his wallet and pulled out a baggie.
Oh, shit.
And he opened up a baggie, opened it up, put it in his mouth, and he did drugs in the bank.
Shit.
And so I told Courtney, I texted Courtney, I said, Courtney, you need to get back over here because your dad's doing drugs right here in the bank. Like he took
I forgot.
Yeah, he took the bag and just put it in his mouth, chewed on it right there in the bank.
And it was an officer in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she came back,
Jeez. Okay.
I walked out because I was pissed.
Right.
And so.
But I think we had found drugs in his wallet before that. When we had brought him into the house, you remember how I was doing the shower. You had went through his stuff.
Supposedly, I think what it was when he was at the therapy, one of his friends was coming up there.
Okay. And supplying.
And was visiting him, and they brought it, and we found I think after that we went through his wallet. We found more baggies in his wallet.
So what happened with the officer? Like he didn't notice.
I don't think he saw it, but Courtney came back. I walked out because I was pissed.
I was flying off the handle.
And I remember them walking out the bank and Courtney just going off. And I think eventually he popped it out. I think he was telling her he didn't do anything. Yeah. And then when they walked out the bank, he spit it out.
Right.
And so I told, once we got to the car, I was like, he's not coming down here with us because he got some more stuff he got to take care of.
Right.
When that happened, we had to have the little intervention with your aunt,
you remember that,
mom, and so we had to try to find a facility that would take them because most rehab facilities wouldn't, as far as when it comes to drugs or anything. Well, you have to be able. Most people there are able to take care of themselves.
Okay.
In that case, your dad wasn't able to take care of himself because he couldn't even walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so we finally ended up finding a hospital that was an hour outside the city that accepted him because of the wound he had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think they had a detox center or something connected to the facility.
Right.
And so he stayed there for a couple of months, I think, or a couple of weeks.
No, it was a couple of weeks. But initially, because it was 4th of July or something, it had to have been 4th of July because I was just saying, I think we had got there early enough and I was like, I just want to get downtown to go see the fireworks. And I think by 10 o'clock, I was like, that's not going to happen because he was still in the hallway of the hospital. And so somebody had to come, a social worker or someone had to come down. And initially they didn't want to accept him because of the wound. They would accept him because he couldn't walk, but it was because of that 4th degree wound. So somehow they ended up putting him on a different wing and then eventually took him to a different hospital. So we just left him there, and it might have been a few weeks later that we had, because initially Brad and I, we had said, okay, Dad is going to come stay with us. Fine. And then when that happened, we sort of just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember now I'm back at work and I'm talking with his the nursing staff or maybe a social worker or something. And so I'm telling him he has to at least be able to lift his calf up to go over. I think it was it has to have been the size of your calf. It was a deep tub and a deep stand-in shower. But speaking to Dad said, I'm not coming down there with y'all. But talking to them, they're he's coming with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm okay, but he's saying he's not coming. So it's just we're going to let it go. And it might have been that next week they called. And so they were hey, we want to talk about his discharge. And I want to say that was on a Monday or Tuesday or something like that. That Wednesday they called and they said, hey, his insurance is running out and they're going to kick him out on Friday. So what are you going to do? So he still was stuck on how he's not coming down there or coming down to Mississippi. And somehow he ended up changing his mind or whatever within that. I want to say it might have been a couple of hours because I know we had to buy him a ticket. And so then we drove up to Memphis from Canton to go pick him up. Okay. And then he was with us ever since. So he was able to shuffle around at that time, move more on his walker. They were able to go ahead and come in and like take care of his medication and get the wound healed and all the other stuff. And so
Brad, now you're married to this woman. You kind of know that all this stuff, this is where worse comes before better for worse. Like it's for better or worse. And now the worst has come. Like you haven't even hit 2 years into your marriage because you're still like newlyweds, right?
Right.
So what is going through your mind? Like just give me a brief synopsis of that.
So we had talked about it, but it was like a conversation like it'll never happen. Like in my mind, I was thinking, but it came, it happened. It was kind of like, okay, well, it's just time to deal with it. And it was a lot because I would work at nights, and so I work 12-hour shifts. And so when I get off in the morning, she would be headed to work. I had to get up. I had to get home, take them straight to therapy for like an hour to physical therapy in Canton, and then take them back home, and then I would sleep. And then that was like 3 days a week. I would take him to like therapy. It was like he couldn't do anything for himself almost. And so it was like every little thing like you would have to do for him. Like I would have to wake up at 12 o'clock to give him his lunch because he couldn't really get around to get to the microwave at that point. Yeah, at that point he was still like wasn't really getting around like, as good as he can now. So I would have to get up and get his lunch, and then you would come in and you take care of the rest of it. But yeah, it was stressful. It was knowing it because it's like you in your own place. You want to kind of have like
be comfortable,
relax, and just enjoy your apartment. But it was like you couldn't really just ever get comfortable because somebody else was in there.
What was that like for you all financially? Was that a financial hit?
So he had a little money coming in, and I think, he didn't have much to take care of. I don't think.
He had a lot of back bills, like old debts, and so the biggest thing I was like, okay, well, we'll take care. I'll chip that off as time goes along, but let's focus on the main thing, like your medication. Did I have to buy a new mattress, or he kept a mattress? I recall I think we bought a new mattress, but
I think the financial side, Courtney. And Courtney, man, she was like, this is my dad. Right. I need to take care of it as far as finances. So I didn't really see much financial issues with it, but I know he did have some money coming in, and that would help, like got him some clothes, his like groceries she set a budget for his groceries. It was like, what, $60 or something a week for his groceries. So
but that helped because he wanted like all this money. I don't understand. Like he wanted all this money. Not saying like he shouldn't be saving, but I'm like, dude, you're old. Like, what do you need all this money for?
Right.
And so he wanted money to be saved, and I know he was really upset that I left a lot of his clothes in Chicago, but I'm like, what can I do? Like they have bed bugs. Like I'm not taking this stuff with us. He's upset that he doesn't have what he used to, but you're not living in squalor. You're not living how you used to be. So I think we should take his new life.
And you all have given him a really good life. So now you're back, you're home, you figured all that stuff out. Now you can take like a break.
No.
Let's talk about your marriage. And that was like a hit. Like it's like 2 months of just pure chaos. How do you, I don't know. Were you all like trying to like get each other in the sheets where you're like, oh, we're so stressed out, or were you like, nope?
No. Well, first off, I don't even think so. We were on opposite schedules. 1, 2, I was already uncomfortable coming home because Dad would be in the living room watching TV, just cackling it up in his wheelchair. Brad would be in the bedroom. So we moved from Ridgeland to Canton out into the country. So it was like a cheaper apartment, but it was like upgraded. It was really nice. Like, loved it. But then I hated being at the apartment. So I would stay at work until like 10, 11 o'clock at night because I didn't want to be around Dad. But then that meant that I wouldn't see him. That was one factor. Two, I felt so uncomfortable trying to have sex because I mean, we shared a wall. So I hear him farting. I'm pretty sure you're going to hear us if the bed is rocking. So no, I don't think it really happened like that. And then I don't know if it was like, I don't know when the switch occurred, but it was like, we're gonna have sex. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if he hears, like, it's okay. And I mean, a couple of times, like quiet sex, I mean, oh, okay, a little sexy. But then after that, I was like, no, if I want to let something out, like I'm gonna let something out. Like, he knows how you gotta like make, kids, or just what adults do. Like, come on now. So
So
yeah.
that, Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, it was annoying to me, like very annoying. Like I didn't want to, cause I would be like, it would be days like when I would bring him back from therapy, I would just go sit in my car just to have some time to myself. And I still do that now. Like even now, like I'll sit in my car for like a few minutes before I even go in the house to just do whatever. I just sit in the car, whether it's feeling on my phone, looking at a video on my phone, just some time to myself. But yeah, it was because it seemed like every time we would try to have sex, it never failed. Like he would get up and you would hear his walker just creeping
And
through
that
the
happens
apartment
now.
every time. Like
Yes.
it never
Every
fails.
time. Every
And
time.
it's just like it's like he knew what was about to happen, and so you would just hear it, and it was just like, and it was just like
Bring you down.
yes.
So how did that how is your intimacy change now? And then too, like,
I mean, I think like she said, it's like now it's just like it's just come to the point where like we're married, you're in our space, so
We're gonna do it.
right.
And sometimes I go into his room and like turn up the TV and they really like, oh my God. Like, yeah, oh my God. Like, but I mean, trade off. Okay, I used to have to go ahead and set up his porn. So I mean, what do you
yeah, right.
what do you
Dad
want me to
was
say?
Dad was
Like,
watching yeah, Dad was watching porn, and then you would
yeah.
have to order it. People are
He
like,
would.
You will order it.
yeah,
He will order it off the Xfinity account, and
Or he would have a channel.
yeah, and he would give me like $20 when he bought a video. He'd give me $20 to put on the bill for it.
okay.
So I know he got like I think Dad was like, this ain't shit. Like I can't see shit on this. So let's switch to a different channel. And I think after like the third switch, he was like, I'm not doing this no more. So then I think that's where he started like ordering videos, and then yeah.
And
that
he
was
is
it.
legally blind. Like
Yeah, he is.
he's lost his vision over time.
And I get it. Like he's saying, I've taken away everything. Like I've taken away drugs. Like I've taken away women. Him being to interact with people, because the stuff that he says sometimes is out of pocket. So like you can't say that to people. Like before, you may have been able to say that in the 80s and it's okay. But now this is
it's a little different.
2020 something. Like you can't just. You might get hit with some sexual assault charges, even though you're an older man. Like you just never know. But we're going to enjoy our marriage.
Yeah. We were talking a couple weeks ago, and you said me and Brad are gonna live. What does that mean for both of you?
I would say just enjoy our lives as a married couple, because when he came in, it was very rough. It was our relationship went downhill because I was out, and I can say for myself, like I was very annoyed, and like even with her, like even if she didn't do anything, it was just like just because he was there, I was annoyed, and I would take it out on her. And I think she would be annoyed also because she was there. And I remember like on Sundays, that was her day to do everything for him, like to prep for the week.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I already knew like on Sundays, I just give her space because I know she was like having to do his meals for the week, get his clothes ready. And it was just like, instead of a day of rest, it was a day of work, another work day for her. And she would just be annoyed. So that was like, I just knew like, let me just give her space so she can do what she got to do. But yeah, it took a toll. But now I think we just kind of realized that like, hey, we we got to live for ourselves. We got to enjoy our marriage. We got to live life, and been going to therapy to talk stuff out. We having issues, which has helped. So
Yeah. What's your marriage motto for each of you?
I think we're we're gonna live. Like we can't just let this go ahead and break us down. Like, so I think that's really important for us. Like, okay, so this is Brad's birthday week. And so like we're gonna live. So I've had to go ahead and do all these things to prepare to allow Dad to go ahead and stay at the house. So it's not to say like we're leaving him alone. Like if I was working throughout the day, he would be at the house by himself. But everything is set up so he can still go ahead and get around by himself. So like this time I had to go ahead and like prepare all of his food, and so everything is stacked up on like on the first shelf of the refrigerator. So
yeah,
I mean, whenever we go, like if we ever take a trip or something like that, I think we have to stack not emergency services, but stack supports just in case something happens. I'll leave all his cards on the bar. Should anybody have to come by, I give somebody like a key to go ahead and come into the house. But we're gonna go ahead and enjoy ourselves. Like I'm just not gonna stay in the house and not do anything because he's there. Now, yes, true, it's very stressful on me. Because like my mom always taught us, we gotta go. I don't wanna, come back to a dirty house. So cleaning, packing, like getting him together, it's like having a kid. Like so it's just a lot, but then I guess it's a positive to go ahead and just like have a long time. I mean, not I guess it is a positive that we can go ahead and be together, but it takes a lot to go ahead and plan.
Yeah, like being intentional behind. So, Brad, you said like it got really hard. Did you ever feel like, yeah, I love this girl, but yeah, no. Did you ever feel like you wanted to get a divorce or like, yeah?
I never thought about getting a divorce. I just thought about maybe I just need some time to myself because it was just like it was a lot. Like it was very. And Courtney can say this. I'm a very chill, laid back person, quiet. I keep to myself, but I could see myself changing into like a very angry person when he came in. And I felt like that was part of the reason why like I would just sit in my car just so I can try to be in a better mood so I wouldn't show it. But I never thought about divorce. Maybe I just need to take some days to myself. And I think sometimes that's what like I would go home to my parents' house just to kind of get away from it and get like a reset, and so I can come back and be like in a better state of mind.
No, that's really important. So you figured out a way to make time for each other, but then also you all are like really young, and the question always comes up like, you're married now, you have Dad, but before that was probably like kiddos. And I know that's really hard. Like, does it bother you when people ask you about children?
I know it used to bother her all the time. I think, and it used to bother her when she would be out with her dad, and people would be like, "Oh, you're gonna get a blessing for doing this." And
oh my God,
she would. She was, and I would just remember her saying like, "Where is it? When is it coming?" Like I just remember her like, because she was so stressed out with him. But yeah, like I know with her when people brought up the kids thing, it was. I don't think it's as bad now, but before like it used to be like, yeah, it'll pinch a nerve for her.
yeah.
I mean, I think so. I feel like marriage changed like a lot of things for me when it came to having children. And so I feel like, I feel like people always like expect that, you should just go ahead and have kids, but everybody don't have to necessarily have kids. And I don't know if that's me, like from living up north and having that mindset, like you just respect people boundaries. Like if they say they don't want to talk about it, like, all right, we're just going to leave it alone. But it just seems like it's just something that's just nudged and nudged and nudged. It's been a touchy topic like multiple times where it's just like I'm not fucking understanding it, why people won't stop talking about, like, I understand, like, you may want, your family may want grandkids or your parents may want grandkids, but that ain't me. Like, or that may not be us, and that's another thing. Like, they don't need to know the inner workings between us of, like, why we do or do not want children. Like, it's none of your business. But yeah, like, caretaking for me, I'll definitely say, like, oh, I have a 70-year-old child, 73-year-old child.
Yes.
Because he thinks like he's a teenager. And so it's like arguing with him. And then sometimes I go ahead and, mess with him. Especially about like bedtime. But I will say, like, I've calmed about the topic of children. So, like, I know your brother mentioned something recently at our goddaughter / niece birthday party, but I sort of just like let it go in one ear out the other. But I mean, normally I probably would have like got on defense, on guard, like ready to go ahead and say something, or I definitely would have told Brad, like, you need to say something, because it's just like, it's not cool. Like,
did you all, and thank you for sharing that, I do appreciate it. My question, I think, also is, did you all have any support to talk to? Because you like went through a lot through those first like several years of like getting him in. Now he's like really adjusted. He has a really good life. We've gone on trips together.
I think you end up getting a therapist, and you end up getting a therapist, and I think eventually me and her went to her therapist a couple of times as a couple. I didn't care for her because it seemed like they already had a relationship and a rapport, so it just seemed like when we went in therapy, it was just them having a conversation. I was just there listening, so I didn't really care for her.
Did your peers know what you were going through?
I have a small circle of friends, and my circle, they knew, and they still are supportive. Like, we talk about it, they understand. We check in on each other, and even if it's like, we don't get a chance to talk, but like, we'll talk today, and then it might be like another month and a half and we chat. It's like we pick up, like, we never, like the conversation never ended, and we're still rolling on. But I know one friend, I can think her, Kim, she always says, like, Courtney, you have so much on your plate. But it was like, but when she knew me back in, well, when we first met, that had to been like 2010, 2011. Like, it was a lot going on between you, Dad, and Jackie. And so that's just been my running story. Like, I have a lot on my plate. It's always a lot going on. But they've always been very supportive. Like, nobody has shut me out. And then sometimes I think that's why I went and turned to a therapist, because I did not want to. I felt like I was draining on my friends. Like, I'm talking about the same thing. And then it was like, okay, now we need to go ahead and I need to go ahead and work on changing this, because I don't want that to just be like my same narrative. So I want to talk about other things too. And like I said, I don't want to keep, draining on everybody. So have a neutral ear, and then change different things, like start working on things to make it less stressful. So now Dad has services. So it's still like a work in progress. Like, we're getting adjusted to his new caregiver. But I mean, it is a help. I mean, that's 4 hours a day for 5 days a week, so that she could come in and cook and, do his laundry and help him with a shower and help him get on the treadmill. Stuff that, I would normally do. I would be running around circles that I don't want to do. Right. So I have time back for me.
Yeah, and you need that because it's exhausting. What about you, Brad? Did you have any support?
Yeah, I kind of about the same. Like, I have a small group of friends that knew the situation. So if I needed to talk, or if I needed a venting session or anything, I could talk to them. Or they knew about these crazy fiascos of him setting the microwave on fire, or breaking the toilet and flooding the bathroom, and just needing a vent. I had friends that I can talk to, but like professionally in the beginning, no, it was just like friends that I would talk to.
So I know that we are doing caregiving. Have you done any pre-funeral arrangements for Dad, or like for your parents, Brad?
I have not done any with my parents. I have not even had a conversation with them. Uh, it's actually like a. I don't think I've really lost a lot of like my grandmother's the only person that I've really lost that's close lately. Even since we've been together, that's like the only person that I've lost that's like immediate family. So I haven't had that conversation. Don't know how. It'll be a tough conversation to have, but I have not had it yet. No.
What about you, Corey? Have you? I know, like I'm doing mom stuff. Have you done like pre-funeral or POA for dad or?
Dad has I'm his power of attorney. We did complete that paperwork, and the banker signed on the right line.
Oh my God.
So
I'm
that
so
was
irritated. Yeah, that's how I got a conservatorship because he didn't do it right.
But we did that, and then I've spoken to him. I mean, not in depth, but what he's basically said, like, "Oh, I want this music to be played at my funeral."
Right.
That's really it. I'm aware that he wants to be buried in Chicago. I know he's told me don't burn him up, don't cremate him, but I mean, I feel like cost effectiveness, if that's what it comes down to. I mean, we could have an open casket and then, cremation afterwards. But then would I want him to be there? I don't know. So, but then I also know, when Grant had passed away, I think it was like $5,000 just for them to open and close the ground. So,
yeah.
I mean, he does have life insurance. I do take care of his finances, so I'm aware of that. I don't know how much will 25,000 stretch, but well, I guess we'll see when it comes to that point. But I mean, I'm aware of those things, like, but nothing too in depth. I mean, are you asking like, have I like figured out who's going to be pallbearers and stuff?
No, I mean, just like, it could be that. It could be, I mean, I don't think we really need to know that part, but like.
No, I mean, I think I probably
like,
should start working on
or
his, the program, like what would be said on the inside. Cause, Dad has worked, we were joking about that the other day, how he's had so many different jobs and how he's worked at Mr. Latti's, and I don't even know if that's a real place, but how he used to, shampoo hair and, be a DJ and custodian. He's worked, I mean, he's worked everywhere, but yeah.
And it's like, I guess, yeah, like eulogy, because I've been trying to figure out Jackie's and I haven't yet, and that sucks. We ain't even gotta go there. But Brad, you said this is a really hard conversation. So you've seen what you've done with your wife. What has that made you want to talk to your parents about it? Or like how to even initiate that conversation?
Yeah, because I honestly don't know anything. I will say like my parents are in like I guess like a different position, like health wise.
Yeah.
But also like, so they may already have it in together and I don't even know it. I'm not sure. I just never had the conversation with them, but I mean, it has made me think about actually just bringing it up, like, like how would you want? I mean, of course, I know where it will be and probably where they want to be buried, but besides that, that's about all I know.
Yeah.
I mean, his mother did mention to me something about like the division of assets. I can't even remember how we got on that conversation, but that was like the most that we went into that. But I'm sort of like not touching that with a 10-foot pole because I feel like there are boundaries with it, and that's a very touchy subject, and that's your family, and I'm not doing it. I'm gonna let you handle that.
So, obviously people our age are listening. Millennials, Gen Xers, they're listening, and parents might be listening. What advice would you give to them if they're listening to this conversation? What would you tell them to do if they have kids your age and they're still okay, but they're going through retirement? What would you want them to do today?
I hope they start doing the front end of that. Start making those, not necessarily making the preparations, but having everything like laid out, because I know with Jackie, it was so hard. Like whenever we would try and speak to her about it, she would always be like, get the fuck out my business. And it's like, we're not trying to be in your business, but we sort of need to. And then we end up having to be in your business. And so, yeah, it was a bad, I mean, it was a bad situation. Like, I mean, I could see, like, going back to, like, when at Grand's funeral, I could see how things were, just like looking at her house, and it had already, it looked like it was blown up with like papers everywhere. And that was something that we don't, and I, like, if someone's listening, I don't think that you will want your children to be going through to try and like figure out, where is this paperwork and where is this and where is that, and you know, all of that. And I cried when we went back. I cried for at least an hour because I couldn't believe, like, saying, like, we're gonna have to step in and take care of this, and now we're here. But it was just a lot to go ahead and go through. It was a lot to go through. Like, when you had brought me up to Chicago during COVID to go help her, and us trying to like look at her place, and I was already like trying to figure out, like, where do we even start. It was just a lot, and I don't feel like that should be on the child at all. And the other thing is, I don't think that like older parents, I don't feel like they need to necessarily expect that their child needs to go ahead and take care of them. If we ever became parents, I would not want my child to go ahead and take care of me. I would feel like that's selfish, because you've had your life. And I know that's the perspective that we have with Dad. Like, he lived his life. He did his, he was a substance user for like 50 years. He did all his stuff. And now it's like, we feel like we're paying for it. Like, we're having to go ahead and like, we're just having to pay for it. That's just what it is. That's just the heart of it. I wouldn't want them to have to experience that. I wouldn't mind being in a home or being in my own place. But again, of course, who knows how that will be like later down the line, should that ever occur. But I would also want to have all my stuff, have all my business in order. Like, I don't want somebody else to have to try and figure out all that stuff for me. Like, they didn't make that mess, I did. So I need to go ahead and have all that laid out.
Yeah. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, I agree with what she said. I think, like, have a game plan. Just for me, from a work point of view, I see all the time, like, parents doing fine, and then next thing you know, they on the ground having a stroke, and they can't move one side of the body. So it's like, you got to make a decision. Like, are you going to put them in a home? Are you going to take care of them at your house? I mean, it's something that needs to be talked about. I guess a lot of people are scared to have that conversation, because part of it is like, people like never expect their family member to be in a situation where something like that happens. We always feel like, oh, our parents are gonna have the best life and be healthy, and that's something where we not even, they had their house, and I guess in a way that's kind of how I see it. Like, my parents are still married. They still, they got their house. They got a rental house. They go down to visit their grandkids as much as they can. And I guess, like, you see them, like it seems like they're healthy. That's like something that's in the back of your mind, like, not even thinking about, like, hey, like, eventually it's going to happen where you got to start thinking about those situations. And so I just say, have a game plan and have the tough conversations.
Well, thank you again for saying that. And then how do you all communicate with each other, especially now? Like, do you think your communication styles have changed? Do you think you've improved your communication styles, especially during this era?
With therapy. Because I'll say, like, we would be like, didn't want to hurt each other's feelings, I guess you can say. So we would sugarcoat stuff, I guess you can say. Or we just wouldn't say it, and so we would be mad at each other, because me and her, in the beginning, we could go a week without talking to each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything was fine while we were, I like him and all this other stuff. It seemed like the switch flipped the day we said, like, we're dating, and it was like two bulls like bumping heads for like a straight year. And the only way we would come back and start talking is if somebody had passed away. Like, that would be, I'd be like, I'm done with him. I'm not talking to him, whatever. And then I think one of your family members died, and I was like, no, it was before that. I feel like it was before that, before your grandmother had died. But somebody else had passed away, and I was like, he told me, and I was like, oh, dang, like, you want me to come with you to the funeral? Something like that. But yeah, like, that was the beginning. It's slowly progressed, but I'm laughing because like, that's our main goal in therapy is like communication. And so whenever I don't want to say something now, Brad is like, communication, communication. And so I'm like, oh, I don't want to say it. But it could just, sometimes it could just be something real innocuous. Like, I don't want to, talk about it. But it's nothing like bothering him or anything like that. But that has been like a for real goal. I know for me, I definitely try to communicate with him by like text messages too, especially like when it has stuff to do with dad. I'm also very perceptive too. So now I know, like, I don't mind dad listening to music in the shower. We like listening to music in the shower, but I also know that it annoys Brad too. So if I was helping dad with a shower on the day, like the caregiver is not there or something, even though, let me preface this, the caregiver just started last week. We just got approved for those services. We were on the wait list for a year, and thankfully it came through.
Jesus.
But before that, if he had to have a shower, I would go ahead. Sometimes I would go ahead and do it like first thing when Brad was coming home, and that was the last time that ever happened because he was so pissed. So I definitely do it on an off day, like if Brad after Brad has left for work, or when Brad ain't even coming into the house that day for the shower. So I'll go ahead and try and take care of everything for him. And I know dad, sometimes he feels like he's, caught in the room where it's like, oh, okay, you've had dinner. Let me go ahead and bring that for you. Let me go ahead and like take your dish or plate and put it in the sink and, bring you your stuff. And he's like, oh, I guess you don't want me out there. No, like we may not want to hear you. We went like the walker. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just a little bit bothersome. So, that's how I definitely try and go ahead and communicate with him, to let him know, like, hey, like X, Y, and Z is going on. You might want to go ahead and not come into the house yet.
Yeah. So do you all have, like, what's your top, like, if you could just say like 2 things that you do for self-care every day, or even like that's moderate, weekly, to take care of yourself so you stay sane?
Okay. So let me first say that self-care is not selfish. So I got back into the gym about over a year and a half ago. I ended up losing myself at this, in my current position at work. And so I really packed on a lot of weight, but it definitely helped, especially yesterday, because yesterday was definitely like like that song Ironic, Alanis Morissette,
Mm-hmm.
Everything that could happen, it definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was so focused on, I have to go to the gym, and I felt better after I went to the gym. So I feel like that's my biggest thing, is the gym or walking.
Okay. Brad, what about you?
Might sound crazy, but I have conversations with myself.
That works. Whatever works.
I just like driving. Like, I just talk to myself just to.
I think that's okay.
Let stuff out. If I need like to vent and clear my mind or something, I just talk to myself.
It's okay. I think it's okay. Whatever works. What's one thing you wish you'd known sooner about this journey?
The struggle with him and with our relationship, like the toll it put on our relationship, like it. It went down in the dumps, and we had to like build it back up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I was going through the questions that you had sent us. And the thing that I had put down, it says, one thing you wish you'd known sooner. I said how Mike really was. Because if I knew how he really was, I definitely would not have even brought that idea up of, oh, go ahead and come stay with us, because he is so, like, we have our days, of course, it's like a roller coaster. But some days he is just so mean. And I'm like, you ain't got to be like, you really don't have to be like that. We're helping to try and take care of you, and you just have this nasty attitude. Like, you could have kept that. And so that's when I start to like spiral and say, like, you could have stayed up there with them and blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't help the situation, because That's not changing. That's not going to help. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
How do you choose each other every single day? Because I feel like that's hard in marriage. So how do you, through this journey, like how do you just say every day I'm choosing my spouse? How do you do it?
I mean, I just know that he's the only one that's really in this with me every day. He's my sounding board. He's my protector. Like when stuff is going to hell, he'll go ahead and jump in. But he's also busy as well, you know, with school and stuff. So, I mean, I know we talked about that. Like, he needs to really, like, this is the crunch time. So, I really have to be the one to go ahead and take care of everything right now. So, if it gets really bad, then he knows, like, oh, okay, I have to step in. But he about to, like, what you say, crash out. So, I need to go ahead and step in. But then when he sees me crashing out, then it's like, all right, give me this. You go take a shower. You go walk or something. So
Yeah. What about you, Brett?
Yeah, I think it's just we kind of learned to recognize each other better and trying to be more of a support system for each other. I think this situation is kind of like open our eyes on some stuff like, hey, like when we get to that age, this is what we don't want to do. This is what we don't want to do. What we might do. In a way, it separated us, but it also kind of brought us closer together because we had to become more of a team, I think.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And it definitely makes us, I feel like we get more excited about like times when we get to relax and recharge and just focus on us. So that sort of makes it better. Like, oh, we've planned this, so we're definitely going to be intentional to just be focused on us and not have to, worry about anybody else.
No, that's important. And then I guess lastly, people are listening. They're like, I'm a couple. What advice would you give to someone who's maybe a couple? Maybe they're not married. Maybe they are married. What would you suggest to them before, like, if they haven't even had this conversation? Like, what 3 things would you say? You need this. Or even one.
Game plan, communication, and don't be afraid to have the tough conversations. Lay everything out on the table. No matter how it might make the other person feel, it needs to be said.
Agreed.
And then I'll say, I'm single. So what advice do you have for me when looking for a mate? Do you feel like it's possible for someone to deal with our crazy parents? Or, do you, sorry, your face, Brad. Do you feel like it's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's just something that you have to explain, and it's going to take a certain person who accept it. Because a lot of people, they'll be like, that's too much. But I think there are people out there that's willing to accept it. It's just, you just have to explain the situation before you get too deep into it, so they can make that decision on their own if they want to do it or not.
And don't feel like you can't date. Like you can. You can. I know I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. You have to make your little provisions, set Jackie up with the caregiver and stuff, but you deserve the opportunity to live too. Like, you just don't need to be huddled in the house. And I would say that for, somebody else, not you, but yeah, you deserve to go ahead and still be able to experience life.
Yeah, I agree. We're trying to get there. We're working on it. I guess I'll just ask, like, lastly, you said that you all came back together and that it wasn't all bad. What's the best? Is that the best thing that's come out of caregiving, or is there something else that you feel like this was the best thing that came out of this experience?
Yeah, I would say coming back together, and like, I feel like it's like we hit plateaus and we're good. And then, then it's like, okay, well, we got to figure out another way to like up our relationship, or like make things better for us. And so I like how we go ahead and like put our brains together and, try and configure something out. And then we tried and it works. And so, I'll say this, I wouldn't do it with nobody else. This is my one and only. Like, I'll be willing to go ahead and like sit and put my brain together and try and do something with, and however you want to say it. But yeah,
yeah. What were you gonna say, Brad?
I agree. And I also think like when we do have like these situations where we get stressed out, or it's a lot stuff like this, like trips, when we like our vacation, I feel like a lot of times that makes it even more better, like our trips and stuff, because we want to be able to spend more time with each other and have that us time, our quality time with each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to come out. I really appreciate it. I do. I appreciate you all for being vulnerable and sharing. And I definitely feel like this would be really helpful for anyone who's going through it, picking each other. You know, y'all went through a lot of career changes and stuff, but but now I'm saying you're about to be a paramedic. Like that was a lot too. And you were balancing like school and stuff like that. But you still made it work. So I think that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. This wraps up
Thank
our
you.
podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for listening to Living Through the Shift podcast. I really appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks to my sister Courtney and my brother-in-law Brad. And you all have a good one, and we'll see you next week.